question comes from homework 4.11, in other words, chapter 4, section 1, number 1 online. It says, what is the domain and what is the range? Well, this is a function that looks, as I say, like a half volcano. Excuse me. I call it a half volcano. And it looks something like, oops, this mouse pen is just not what it's cracked up to be. And that way. Okay, so, and plus you know that you can't put 0 in the denominator. Now, whenever you have one of these functions, and I'll go ahead and get rid of this because, well, thought I'd get rid of it. There it is. Let me just go to the next page. There. Whenever you have one of these functions, well, it's just not going to work. Set the denominator equal to 0. So the denominator is x is equal to 0. So if you plug in 0 into the denominator, you're going to get an undefined function. And 0 in for x is your y-intercept. So when you plug in 0 for x, you're getting your y-intercept. And the y-intercept is undefined. So that's why you have this function undefined at x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 0. So, what is your domain? Your domain is, take my handy dandy highlighter, is your x values. Okay, it's not going to work. Your x values is all real numbers except for x is equal to 0. So the way that you write that is you say my domain is all real numbers except x cannot equal 0. And the same thing with your y functions, which is your range. Range is all real numbers except y cannot equal 0. And the way that you write that in set builder notation is with a union. Union means that nothing overlaps. Intersection is overlap. So if you're talking about unions and, hold on, if you're talking about unions, I don't know why this is not working. There. Union means that what makes up both sets. And intersection means what overlaps. So, negative infinity to 0, negative infinity to 0 is your, coming from the left side is your domain. Can't touch 0. Oops, I'm just hitting on all 6 cylinders today. And that is a union because they don't overlap from 0 to infinity. And that's the same way that you can write all real numbers x cannot equal 0. Sorry. They mean the same thing. Okay? So I hope that helps with that question. Let's go back and find another. And the next question is, now let me get rid of this. 4.2, this is number 5. 4.2, number 5. And this is a question with give the equation, vertical asymptotes, and all that good stuff. So you got to set the denominator equal to 0. So that's going to be 2x squared minus x minus 10 is equal to 0. And of course, if you watch my videos, I don't do anything but completing the square. And if you're one of those students that refuse to complete the square, then you're probably still having trouble. So I hate to be blunt, but that's why I teach completing the squares, so you learn it. And if you don't want to learn it, then you're having problems. So 2x squared minus x plus blank is equal to 10 plus blank. Factor out a 2, and that's going to give you x squared minus 1/2 x plus blank, close parentheses, equal to 10 plus 2 times blank.
You have a work email.
And that's going to give you there. And that's going to give you 1/2 divided by 2. 1/2 divided by 2 is 1/4. 1/4 squared is 1/16. And if you don't know what I'm doing, you need to go back to completing the square videos. And that's going to give you 2 times x minus 1/4 quantity squared is equal to 10 plus 2 over 16 is 1/8. And then that's going to be 2 times x minus 1/4 quantity squared is equal to, that'd be 88 plus 1/8. And go ahead and divide by 2. That means multiply by 1/2. You're going to get 81/16, I think, something like that. So x minus 1/4 quantity squared is equal to 81/16. And if you take the square root of both sides, you're going to get x minus 1/4 is equal to positive or negative 9 over 4. And positive 9 plus 10 is 5/2 or something like that. 10, positive 9 plus 1 is 10. 10 over 4 is 5/2. That's one x-intercept. And then negative 9 plus 1 is negative 8. Negative 8 minus 4, or negative 8 divided by 4 is negative 2. And there's your two x-intercepts. I'm sorry, your vertical asymptotes. Horizontal asymptote is 1/2 because you got the same degree. Let me go to the next page. Hold on just a second. Your horizontal asymptotes, you've got x squared, that's the degree, over 2x squared. So the degrees are the same, so you take the coefficients of the two leading coefficients, and that is 1/2. So your horizontal asymptote is y is equal to 1/2. Okay, and I think that's probably going to be your answer. And of course, graph it on a calculator, because there's no use in trying to kill yourself plotting something like this by hand. So take your handy dandy calculator, and as soon as I can find my handy dandy calculator, and we'll punch that in, and you'll see where it crosses. Let me pull the problem back up. There we go. So, clear. y is equal to, and you got to put in parentheses because it won't know what to do, x squared minus 2x minus 3, close parentheses, divided by, open parentheses, 2x squared minus x minus 10. And graph. And there's your horizontal asymptote, and there's your two vertical asymptotes at -5/2 and whatever I said, 2 or -2 and 5/2, and then here is, and you blow it up, do a zoom 6, no, zoom, yeah, it makes it a little bit better. There's -2, and there's probably 5/2, and then that's 1/2, where it won't touch the horizontal aspect. The best way to do this, let me see if I can do zoom 0, see if it'll make it a little bit better. I don't think it's going to. I'm going to have to blow it up. There it is. And take my handy dandy drawer here, and I'll make a blue vertical line. Here is your vertical, there's your two vertical asymptotes. I'm trying to make it 5/2, there we go. And then your horizontal asymptote is at 1/2, which I can't really get it, but trying. All right, through there. Okay. And that's how you find your vertical and horizontal asymptotes. And next question. Let me get out of here. Next question. Get out of there. And this question is 4.2, number 12. Most of the ones in 4.1 and 4.2 you just graph on the calculator, because there ain't no way you can, you know it's the x squared function right there, so you just basically plug it in your calculator. Take your handy dandy calculator. You can find the vertical asymptotes by setting the denominator equal to 0, and that is a shortcut number 3, I think. Let me go over here and get my, that'll be x squared, hold on, it's going to be x squared minus 49 is equal to 0, and you can do it by a shortcut, or you can bring 49 over, x is equal to positive or negative 7. So there's your vertical asymptotes. Your horizontal asymptotes, your degree of your denominator is x to the first, or numerator, over x to the second. So that means that your vertical, since your degree of your numerator is less than the degree of the denominator, your horizontal asymptote is 0. And it says that in the book, and I go over that in the videos. So that's, you know, you're looking for positive and negative 7. This is a regular function, x squared function, so it's going to be looking normal. So it's probably, let's see, the x squared minus, probably going to be d. So there's your negative, positive 7 and negative 7. Yeah, I'd say it's, okay, it is d. But just do it on your calculator. Unless you're asked to find the vertical and horizontal asymptotes. And then if you're asked to graph it, just go y is equal to 5x, parentheses, 5x, close parentheses, divided by, open parentheses, x squared minus 49, close parentheses, delete, and graph. And there it is. And of course you can see it looks like this one. You just have to check and see which one is not. You know it's not this one because it's going the opposite direction. Not this one because that leg right there is not right. This one isn't at the right x asymptotes. That looks like 3, and this one's 7. So this one's your answer. So there's several different things you can do to see which graph it is, but do not sit there and try to gather points. In 4.1 and 4.2, you're going to be relying mostly on your calculator. Okay? I think I say that in one of the videos. If I don't, then I'm sorry, but I think I do. All right, so that's that one. And let me see if there's any other from this section. I think that's all from this section of Math 110. Continue to send questions, and I'll continue to